Hi everyone, my name is Sharan. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I worked in Ernst & Young's tax practice for over 5.5 years, post which I joined my family business, which is into retail and textile retail and real estate. And I applied to 4 universities in Asia and Europe. So that was the universities I applied to were HKU, Nanyang, NUS and INSEAD. NUS was my realistic option and INSEAD was my dream school, and I was lucky enough to get into all the schools that I applied to, and this was thanks to the help that I got from Autry. When I worked on my INSEAD essays with Autry, we spent about a month and a half just on my essays, even though INSEAD was the last school I applied to. So I mean, my stories weren't very different from what I put in my first 3 essays. Obviously, my profile didn't change in that 1 month. But how you bring them out has to be really customized to what the school is looking for. He was a great help to me in kind of drafting my CV and getting my recommendation letters edited and reviewed. So I was lucky enough to get recommenders who were, kind enough to let me edit what they had put down. So Autry was a great help in that as well, because he kind of made me bring out stories in the recommendation that were not probably covered adequately in my essays because of the way the questions and the essays were framed. So I think that was a great help as well. With respect to my CV, I think he introduced me to the STAR technique, which is situation, task, action, result. So again, your CV is something that you'd be used to, you'd know best how to do and the assignments that you'd want to highlight. But what Autry really helped me with was kind of bringing out the impact of each assignment that I worked on. So I had a consulting background coming from Ernst & Young. So instead of just listing down every assignment that I worked on, Autry kind of explained to me how a B school would look at my CV as against when I'm applying for a job in India. So he helped me with, he gave me a list of questions that I used to prepare myself for interviews once I got shortlisted. And he can also conduct mock interviews for you if you feel the need to. If scholarship essays is something you need help with, Autry is available and he has a lot of experience in that area as well. He's always available on call or email. He's very prompt in replying. So if you have a deadline coming up with any help with respect to certain areas of your online application, if you're facing technical issues with it, you can always reach out to him and he's very prompt in replying. He gave me small tips which I would have not thought of when I was drafting my essays. For instance, I had more than success stories, I had great failure essays. So I had 3-4 failure essays in mind, and he kind of helped me structure those and select one out of those 3, kind of giving me another person's perspective on how those failure essays would be viewed by universities, because that's something you need to be really careful about. He gave me a list of questions that, based on my profile, that he thought that an interviewer would ask me. So I was a lot more prepared mentally before I went for my interviews. My failure essay was actually my strongest essay, and I think that's what really worked for me, and I know I couldn't have done that by myself. So yeah, go to Autry. He's great help. I'm sure he'll be able to help you with any university you're applying to. Best of luck to everyone.